This is just a recognition. Yes. My great pleasure, Samanta, to be here amongst all of you.
Thank you. So many thanks.
My great pleasure to be here amongst all of you.
Okay, thank you.
As I was saying, first of all, appreciation for Suman and Debayan for the initiative that they have taken for arranging this program on a virtual mode. Good evening to all the members of Howrah CS Study Circle. I know of so many of you, and I have interacted with so many of you. I can already hear Samanta speaking, and I have over a period of time enjoyed your love, enjoyed your guidance, and it is my great pleasure.
You are so lovable person. You are so lovable person that we can't expect you.
No, such a great pleasure always. And I will, with your permission, I will interchange between English and Bengali. I will be speaking in both the languages. Auditing standards এর কথাটা শুনে না আপনাদের হয়তো অনেকে ভাবছেন যে আজকে খুব বোরিং হয়ে যাবে এটা অডিটিং স্ট্যান্ডার্ডস করে কি মানে what is the use of having this. I will only take up issues which you deal with your day-to-day life. একদম day-to-day life যেগুলো আপনাদের যেগুলো হয় those issues I will take up. I will also request others, those of us are here to kindly put themselves on mute. In that case, what will happen? You can hear me clearly and enjoy the lecture. If you can, put yourself, all of you, if you can put yourself on mute. Number one. আজকে সকালবেলা 10:30 there is a new secretary of Ministry of Corporate Affairs, Mr. Rajesh Verma. So you see, he came. Only he has just replaced NJT syllabus. So he wanted a briefing on the auditing standards and the new CARO from the institute. So I and G. Shekhar, the chairman of Auditing Assurance Standards Board, we were there to brief him. And when we were there to speaking to him about the new CARO, about which I'll speak, and also on the auditing standards, so many things the institute is having on auditing standards. We said that yes sir, we are having. He said it's he said that why do people are not aware of so many pronouncements that the institute has, so many guidance notes that the institute has issued. I said that sir, we are now trying to popularize by ensuring that all the members, they go through a 2-hour training program on the auditing standards. সে বলল যে খুব ভালো হয়েছে আপনারা খুব ভালো করেছেন. So keeping that in mind, we are starting off. দেখুন আমরা না যখন ওনাকে প্রেজেন্টেশন করছিলাম আমরা বললাম যে we have 46 auditing standards till now. 46. তার মধ্যেতে একটা আছে কি SQC, Standard on Quality Control. 46 of them. And all these auditing standards, if you have been the auditor of a company, with effect from 1/4/2014, these auditing standards have become compulsory under section 143, subsection 10 of the Companies Act. These auditing standards are compulsory. If you are the auditor of a company, any company, private limited company or any other company, small company, if you are the auditor, the auditing standards have become compulsory. So now, what I will do is this, I will take you through auditing standards series-wise. These 46 auditing standards that we have, except one, that is SS 600, almost সবগুলো কিন্তু they are all akin to the international auditing standards. They are all akin to the international auditing standards. That is, international auditing standards are এটার মধ্যে আপনি কোনো পার্থক্য পাবেন না। এর একই জিনিস, আপনি কোনো পার্থক্য পাবেন না এটার মধ্যে। খালি একটা SS 600 এর মধ্যে তফাৎ আছে, অন্যগুলো everything is same. So here, now see, you are all going to finalize your audit report. সময় এসে গেছে audit report finalize করার জন্য। A question has been asked of the institute, and the institute has issued lot of guidance during this COVID time. COVID এর সময় কিভাবে audit করতে হবে, institute has issued lot of guidance. One question that was asked of the institute was inventory verification as on 31st of March 2020. Institute জিজ্ঞেস করা হয়েছে that you see sir, suppose no inventory verification has been done as on 31st of March 2020, and further, the auditors could not be present at the time of verification, and the management also has not done any verification. Our inventory is substantial. Then the question arose that how to go about it, how to verify this inventory when the inventory is very substantial. And the answer of the institute was that if you could not verify the inventory as on 31st of March 2020, if you could not verify that inventory as on 31st of March 2020, so in that case, what you should do is this: roll back or roll forward. That is, in that case, you have a inventory verification as on in the month of say June 2020, and back calculate that inventory and find out what is the inventory as on 31st of March 2020. But in this whole thing, it is very important that the stock records are maintained in a proper manner. So that is called roll back calculation. You can roll back to find out. Now, there is also the situation of roll forward. Roll forward means, suppose the inventory verification was done in the month of February. In that case, how to get the inventory as on 31st of March 2020? In that case, February 2020 inventory ta niye, you calculate based on the inventory records to find out what is the stock details as on 31st of March 2020. So this is roll back and roll forward. আমাদের আবার বলা হয়েছে যে যখন কোনো ইনভেন্টরি ভেরিফিকেশনই হলো না 31st March 2020 তে, no verification of inventory is done, and it is doubtful whether this inventory is actually in existence or not in existence. কি করতে হবে? In that case, the auditor will have no other alternative but to qualify his report. এখন কথাটা হলো গিয়ে, প্লিজ নোট, in inventory valuation in AS 2 বা AS 2 তে বলছে cost or net realizable value whichever is lower. আমাদেরকে বলা হয়েছে কোভিড টাইমে ইনভেন্টরি ধরুন যেটা কস্ট, একটা ইনভেন্টরি কস্ট 10 টাকা থাকে, because of corona that the realizable value could become only ₹3. So what to do? Should we take it at 10 rupees cost while valuing the inventory, or should we take it at 3 rupees? And the answer of the institute was that take it at 3 rupees because it is cost or net realizable value whichever is lower. আমাদেরকে এটা জিজ্ঞেস করা হয়েছে, I don't know, see, you might be so many of you might not be interested in this. আমাদেরকে এটা প্রশ্ন জিজ্ঞেস করা হলো যে suppose the inventory verification বড় বড় ফার্ম 31st March 2020 তে by your video করেছে, what to do? Is that okay? He said that certainly, provided the professional skepticism has been used. Provided professional skepticism has been used, it is possible. But please note, যদি আপনি ভিডিওতে ইনভেন্টরি ভেরিফিকেশন করেন, is the quality of the inventory. That is, if you have a stock which is obsolete, it is very difficult to find out that stock basically on the basis of video verification of inventory. Very difficult to find out the quality of the stock based on video verification of inventory. So see, those were the problems. When this happened, there was I am now moving away from inventory. I can see a question on inventory coming up, but that all the questions I will take at a later point. So see, at this point, when we are looking into all this, a question came that, look, we are unable to sign our audit report physically because of the corona. So can we sign our audit report digitally? And the institute's viewpoint was very clear that yes, you can sign your audit report digitally also. You can sign your audit report. So that is very, very important. Next, আমি ইনভেন্টরিটা ছিল গিয়ে SA 541. এখন আমি SA 570 তে যাচ্ছি গোয়িং কনসার্ন মানে যদি একটা ইউনিট is in a position to operate normally in the foreseeable future, then there is a going concern. আমি আপনাকে একটা এক্সাম্পল দিচ্ছি going concern. You see, I sit in DC disciplinary committee. In the last meeting of the disciplinary committee, we found that there was this case which was brought to us, in which the going concern was challenged And what happened was this: the company had a 80 to 90% drop in sales in a particular year. Had said that the company is a going concern. The definition of going concern is the ability of the company to function normally in the foreseeable future. And the foreseeable future means 12 months from the balance sheet date. That is, if you have a balance sheet of 31st March 2020, if the company can function normally, at least up to 31st of March 2021, you have a going concern going. So in this case, the disciplinary matter, they said that during the year, there was a 90% drop in sales, and the auditor did not mention that the going concern was under challenge. And he was held guilty by the disciplinary directorate. My first question was, this was relating to year ending 31/3/2017. So I asked this question, that what happened in 2018, 31/3/2018? Did the company function normally in 31/3/2018, or it did not function normally? The disciplinary directorate got the balance sheet of that next year's balance sheet out, and we found that in the next year also the company had functioned normally. So my point was that the going concern was there, and you cannot hold the auditor guilty for not having reported going concern, because in the next year the company had functioned normally in the next year. So please note, going concern is going to be a very important thing. আপনারা যেগুলো অডিট করবেন, অনেক কোম্পানি এরকম হয়তো আছে যাদের কোম্পানি ফাংশনই করবে না, because of this COVID situation, the company cannot function, or the company হয়তো বন্ধই হয়ে যাবে. If you have such a situation, do report on the going concern. Very important, কিন্তু খুব important. Going concern এর উপর রিপোর্ট করবেন। আর আপনি যদি going concern এর উপর বেশি জানতে চান, the auditing standard is SA 570. SA 570 is the auditing standard. Have a look at it. The institute has also issued the implementation guide on the going concern, so you can also have a look at the implementation guide issued by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. So that is about going concern. So I am now moving from going concern to something called management representation. SA 580 management representation. SA 580 management representation. Management representation মানে আমরা কি করব in various situations. আজকে আমাদের সেক্রেটারি এমসিএ সাহেব জিজ্ঞেস করছিলেন যে অডিটর কতখানি ম্যানেজমেন্ট রিপ্রেজেন্টেশনের উপর রিলাই করতে পারে। Is management representation the only tool of audit, or it is one of the tools of audit? আর আমরা বললাম যে স্যার, management representation is one of the tools for audit. It is not the only tool for audit. সে বলল যে then I agree with you that with that situation I have no problem. I agree with your viewpoint. Now management representation, আমি আপনাকে বলছি এটা কিন্তু এগুলো কেন সব প্র্যাকটিক্যাল ইলাস্ট্রেশন আমি দিচ্ছি। আমরা যারা ছোট ছোট প্রাইভেট লিমিটেড কোম্পানি অডিট করি, আমরা ওখানে লিখি that none of the directors were disqualified under section 164 subsection 2 of the Companies Act. আমরা লিখি ওটা, that none of the directors are disqualified under section 164 subsection 2 of the Companies Act. আপনি জানেন, যদি একটা কোম্পানি ফিনান্সিয়াল স্টেটমেন্টস যদি সাবমিট না করে থাকে 3 বছরের জন্য, in that case the directors of those companies are disqualified for a period of 5 years. And we have to mention in the audit report whether the directors are disqualified under section 164 subsection 2. আমি না ম্যানেজমেন্ট একটা রিজনেবলি বড় কোম্পানি আমি অডিট রিপোর্ট সাইন করছিলাম ইন দ্য মান্থ অফ জুলাই। আর আমি তাদেরকে জিজ্ঞেস করলাম যে তোমাদের ডিরেক্টরসটা কেউ ডিসকোয়ালিফাইড হয়েছে? So they said that sir, none of our directors are disqualified. I said that can I have a management representation from you? So they said that yes sir, their company secretary wrote to me saying that none of the directors were disqualified under section 164 subsection 2. I said very fine. I told my office staff, can you go and find out from the MCA side whether any of these directors were disqualified. My office staff went, and you see they visited the MCA site and found out of 3 directors, 2 directors were disqualified. 2 directors were disqualified. Even though in the management representation it was given to me, it was written that none of the directors are disqualified. So once that happened, please note if I would have relied only on the management representation and if I would have written that none of the directors are disqualified, then I would have been in big trouble. So আপনারা যারা এবার অডিট রিপোর্ট সাইন করবেন না, যেখানে যদি ছোট ছোট প্রাইভেট লিমিটেড কোম্পানি, আমি বড় বলছি না, ছোট ছোট কোম্পানি, যখন আপনি দেখবেন যেখানে আপনি সাইন করবেন none of the directors are disqualified, ওখানে না আপনি একবার বলবেন যে একটা এমসিএ সাইটে গিয়ে চেক করতে যে ওই ডিরেক্টরস গুলো ডিসকোয়ালিফাইড আছে কিনা। খুব ইম্পর্টেন্ট, কিন্তু খুব ইম্পর্টেন্ট। খালি ম্যানেজমেন্ট রিপ্রেজেন্টেশনের উপর যাবেন না, কিন্তু খালি ম্যানেজমেন্ট রিপ্রেজেন্টেশনের উপর গেলে খুব মুশকিল হতে পারে আমাদের জন্য। We could be in big trouble if we go only on management representation. So that is number one. So management representation is only one of the tools for audit and not the whole and soul of audit. So management representation is খুব important. SF 580, take management representation. I'm not saying that you don't take it, but do not rely on management representation blindly. আমি আপনাকে একটা এক্সাম্পল দিলাম 164 সাবসেকশন 2, আমি যদি চেক না করতাম I would have been in big trouble. So এটা হলো ম্যানেজমেন্ট রিপ্রেজেন্টেশন সম্বন্ধে আমি বললাম। SF 505 external confirmation মানে those of the debtors, আমরা কি লিখি, confirmation letters have been sent to the debtors and these letters and the debtors are pending confirmation. আপনাদের যেগুলো debtors হয় as on 31st March 2020, in many of these cases আমরা কোন সময় debtors থেকে কনফার্মেশন নিই না যে এই যে এই ফিগার গুলো তুমি ভাই বলো একবার ঠিক আছে কিনা, আমরা কনফার্মেশন নিই না, আমরা লিখি পেন্ডিং কনফার্মেশন বলে নোটস অন অ্যাকাউন্টসে দিয়ে আমরা ছেড়ে দিই। SF 505 এক্সটার্নাল কনফার্মেশন। কিন্তু এই স্ট্যান্ডার্ডটা কি বলছে, তোমার যদি ডেটাস একটা 2-3 বছর ধরে সেম ফিগার সেম ব্যালেন্স চলে আসছে 2-3 বছর ধরে, আর তুমি বলছো পেন্ডিং কনফার্মেশন, এরকম হবে না। যদি 2-3 বছর ধরে তোমার সেম ডেটাস এর ফিগার চলে আসছে, in that case you must do alternate audit procedures. কি 31st March 2020 তে যদি ডেটাসটা আছে, আমাদের দেখতে হবে যে এপ্রিল মাস বা মে মাস 2020 তে কোনো ওখান থেকে কোনো পেমেন্ট এসছে কিনা। যদি কোনো পেমেন্ট না এসে থাকে, if no payment has come in the month of May, June, and if the data are more than 3 years old, then you must think whether there is a problem of bad debts or not. খুব important, whether there is a problem of bad debts or not. That aspect you must see whether there is a problem of bad debts or not. So you see, as long as debtors are concerned, very important that you see you do not take the figure given by the management on face value. Ektu alternate procedures করবেন, especially in cases where the debtors are more than 3 years old, same balances are being carried forward in the books of accounts. SF 505 external confirmation. Auditing standard SF 505 external confirmation. তারা বলছে ডেটাসে কনফার্মেশন করার আগে একটু অল্টারনেট অডিট প্রসিডিউরস করে নিন, দেখবেন যে মার্চ মাসে যে ডেটা আছে এপ্রিল মাসে ওটা থেকে কোনো পেমেন্ট এসছে কিনা, বা মে মাস বা জুন মাসে ওখান থেকে কোনো পেমেন্ট এসছে কিনা, ইউ হ্যাভ এ লুক অ্যাট ইট। যদি পেমেন্ট না থাকে, ডেটাস গুলো যদি অনেক পুরনো থাকে, then in that case you check whether these data are good or these data are not good. So that is very important. SF 505 external confirmation. আমি খুব যেগুলো কঠিন বা খুব ডিফিকাল্ট স্ট্যান্ডার্ড যেগুলো লিস্টেড কোম্পানিজ এর উপরে আছে, ওগুলো আমি একদম ধরতে চাইছি না। I have no intention of taking up standards which are all for listed companies, say SS 600 limited review. So এগুলো স্ট্যান্ডার্ড আমি ধরবো না। এগুলো যদি আপনাদের কোনো প্রশ্ন থাকে এইসব স্ট্যান্ডার্ডের উপরে, you may ask me, I will answer that in the question answer session. So that is SF 505. আমি এখন আমরা অডিটার্স রিপোর্ট সাইন করি। আমরা যখন অডিটার্স রিপোর্ট সাইন করি, উপরে লিখি ইন্ডিপেন্ডেন্ট অডিটার্স রিপোর্ট, আর তারপর যদি আপনি দেখবেন আমরা শুরু করি, we have carried out the audit of the stand-alone financial statements. We have carried out the audit of the stand-alone financial statements of X company private limited. আপনি দেখবেন যে লাস্ট টাইম যদি আপনি অডিট রিপোর্ট করেছেন, হয়তো ওখানে এরকম লেখা আছে, we have carried out the audit of stand-alone financial statements of X company private limited. আমি না এই জিনিসটা যখন কোভিড ছিল না, in the month of November দিল্লিতে আমি বলছিলাম, দিল্লির একটা 5-star হোটেলে দিল্লির সব চার্টার্ড অ্যাকাউন্টেন্টরা সব অডিটিং স্ট্যান্ডার্ড শিখতে এসেছিল, আর উই ওয়ার ভেরি সারপ্রাইজ 600-700 চার্টার্ড অ্যাকাউন্টেন্ট দিল্লিতে মানে একটা বড় হোটেলে চলে এসেছিল। তো একজন আমাকে বললো যে স্যার আমি না আমার অডিট রিপোর্টে, খুব ইয়াং ছেলে, হয়তো 2 বছর আগে পাস করেছে, আমাকে বললো স্যার আমি না আমার অডিট রিপোর্টে একটা প্রাইভেট লিমিটেড কোম্পানি, ছোট একটা কোম্পানি আমি অডিট করেছি, আর আমি ওখানে লিখেছি we have carried out the audit of stand-alone financial statements of X and company private limited. আর আমাকে বললো স্যার এই যে আমি stand-alone লিখলাম for a small private limited company, আমি কি ঠিক করেছি? ও আমি জবাব দেওয়ার আগে so many people from behind they told him why you are asking such a stupid question, obviously you are right. They were all asking, our other seniors they were telling him, and in Delhi things tend to get a bit rough at times. So I just said that, see, I told everybody that what this young man is asking, he's very correct in his question. সবাই না সব একটু ওদের মুখ সব বন্ধ হয়ে গেছে, বলছে কেন? আমি বলছি কখন আপনি স্ট্যান্ড-অ্যালোন ইউজ করবেন? we have audited the stand-alone financial statements. Stand-alone wordটা তখন ইউজ করবেন if the private limited company of which you are the auditor is part of a bigger group. That is, if CFS is prepared, if consolidated financial statements are prepared, that is the private limited company is a subsidiary of another company, or if the private limited company is an associate of another company, or if the private limited company is a JV, joint venture of another company. In that case, you use the word stand-alone. কিন্তু আপনি যদি খালি একটা কোম্পানি, প্রাইভেট লিমিটেড কোম্পানি অডিট করছেন, which is not linked with any other company, which is not a related party of any other company, please do not use the word stand-alone. Stand-alone is used to only indicate that that company is part of a bigger group. When that company is standing, you see, when the company is totally independent and not part of a bigger group, you are not required. I hope I'm very clear. I hope you will not make the mistake of doing so as of for the year ended 31st March 2020. Stand-alone to লিখবেন না। আমি এখন SS 700 বলছিলাম। SS 700 হলো গিয়ে যেখানে ফরম্যাট অফ অডিটার্স রিপোর্টস দেওয়া আছে। আপনি যে অডিটার্স রিপোর্ট আপনি যে সাইন করেন, ইভেন ফর নন কর্পোরেট এন্টিটিস, এটা কিন্তু আপনার ফরম্যাট গুলো SS 700 এ দেওয়া আছে। SS 700 এর পিছন দিকে 5টা ইলাস্ট্রেশন দেওয়া আছে অডিটার্স রিপোর্ট। যদি ট্রাস্টের অডিট করেন কিভাবে দিতে হবে, যদি সেকশন 8 কোম্পানি অডিট করেন কিভাবে দিতে হবে। সো ওখানে they have given the format of audit reports. Five illustrations are there after SS 700 in which you can pick up the illustration and do it. যেটা আপনি ইন্ডিপেন্ডেন্ট অডিটার্স রিপোর্ট, যেটা এবার অডিট রিপোর্ট আপনি সাইন করেন, that is part of the format or illustration as given in SS 700. So that is how it is. Please note that. Now আপনি যদি SS 700 যদি একটু এগিয়ে যান, আপনি যদি কোনো লিস্টেড কোম্পানি অডিট করেন, please note there is something called SS 701 key audit matters. ওখানে দিতে হবে, কিন্তু কি অডিট ম্যাটার্স না খালি লিস্টেড কোম্পানিজের জন্যই এখন পর্যন্ত ম্যান্ডেটরি করা হয়েছে। নন লিস্টেড কোম্পানির জন্য কি অডিট ম্যাটার্স ইজ নট ম্যান্ডেটরি। আপনি যদি একটু এগিয়ে যান, আজকে না আমি সকালবেলা তো ওই সেক্রেটারি মিনিস্ট্রি অফ কর্পোরেট অ্যাফেয়ার্স সঙ্গে মিটিং করছিলাম। আজকে ইভিনিং এ 4 to 6 আমাদের সাফা মিটিং ছিল। সাফা হলো গিয়ে সাউথ এশিয়ান ফেডারেশন অফ অ্যাকাউন্টেন্টস। এরা না ইন্টিগ্রেটেড রিপোর্টিং, হয়তো আপনারা অনেক কেউই এখানে আমরা জানি না, এরা ইন্টিগ্রেটেড রিপোর্টিং, হাউ টু ইন্ট্রোডিউস ইন্টিগ্রেটেড রিপোর্টিং এর উপরে ডিসকাশন চলছে। নাও একজন ভদ্রলোক ফ্রম পাকিস্তান আজকের মিটিং এ না আগের মিটিং আমাকে বলছে যে देबाशिस साहब, देबाशिस भाई, हम लोग ना जो SS 700 में जो एश्योरेंस देते हैं, we give a reasonable assurance. Reasonable assurance means true and fair. আপনি দেখবেন যখন আপনি অডিট রিপোর্টটা সাইন করছেন, আপনি ওখানে লিখেছেন যে we are giving reasonable assurance. Reasonable assurance means true and fair. We are giving a true and fair assurance, right? We are not giving an absolute assurance. সেই অডিট রিপোর্ট আমরা এটাও লিখি that there is no guarantee that we have found out all the misstatements, that there is no guarantee that we have found out all the misstatements. So that is what we write in the audit report. এই ভদ্রলোককে পাকিস্তান থেকে ছিল, আমাকে বলছে যে গভর্নমেন্ট না is always expecting a absolute assurance from us. बोले पाकिस्तान में भी हम लोग को absolute assurance चाहिए गवर्नमेंट को, but we are giving a reasonable assurance. So my contention was that how we can give an absolute assurance. আপনি কি একটা ব্যালেন্স শিট কে true and correct বলে আপনি বলতে পারেন? It is not possible on our part to say a balance sheet is true and correct. Not possible. We can only say that it is true and fair. So please note, it is very important that we note that we only give a reasonable assurance in the auditor's report, and the auditor's report format is carried in SS7. So you see, I can see a lot of seniors here. I'm খুব একটা লম্বা বলবো না, next 15-20 মিনিট বলে then I will take questions. Right? I mean, whatever questions you have, you please ask me. Even on corporate laws, you can ask me. I will try to answer. আচ্ছা, এখন আমি বলছি SS700 independent auditor's report format. আমি বলছিলাম। আচ্ছা, এখন আমি আপনাকে বলছি যে SS705 খুব একটা না, ভয় পেয়ে যাবেন না এগুলো নাম্বার টাম্বার শুনে। হ্যাঁ, you can all pick it up. কোনো ইজি, একদম খুব ইজি এগুলো। SS705 বলে যে আমরা কিভাবে অডিট রিপোর্ট দিতে পারি, আমরা অডিট রিপোর্ট কোয়ালিফিকেশন কিভাবে করতে পারি। আচ্ছা, অডিট রিপোর্ট আমাদের 4 রকম অডিট রিপোর্ট হতে পারে। ফার্স্ট হলো যে ক্লিন অডিট রিপোর্ট, আমরা মোস্ট অফ দ্য টাইম আমরা ক্লিন অডিট রিপোর্ট দিই, SS705 এ বলছে। সেকেন্ড হলো যে কোয়ালিফাইড রিপোর্ট, আমরা কোয়ালিফাইড, সাবজেক্ট টু দ্য অ্যাবাভ উই কোয়ালিফাই দ্য রিপোর্ট, subject to the above the balance sheet gives a true and fair view. That is called qualified report. আমরা না adverse report দিতে পারি, because of the significance of the above, the balance sheet does not give a true and fair view. That is called the adverse report. Or we can give a disclaimer. Disclaimer মানে যখন আমরা কোনো এভিডেন্স পেলাম না অডিটটা করার জন্য, মানে অডিট করার সময়, for example, we have not got evidence about debtors. 50% of the asset side of the balance sheet, there is no confirmation of the debtors, and the debtors are old, assets all 3-4 বছর old debtors. So it's very difficult. In that case, you can give a disclaimer. You can write that because of the significance of the what is stated above, we are not in a position to comment on the truth and fairness of the financial statements. That is called disclaimer. So আপনার অডিট রিপোর্টে 4 রকম অডিট রিপোর্ট হতে পারে। একটা ক্লিন অডিট রিপোর্ট, একটা সেকেন্ড হলো গিয়ে আপনার কোয়ালিফাইড অডিট রিপোর্ট, 3 নম্বর হলো গিয়ে অ্যাডভার্স অডিট রিপোর্ট, 4 নম্বর হলো গিয়ে ডিসক্লেমার। ডিসক্লেমার আপনি তখনই দেবেন যখন আপনি অডিট করতে গিয়ে কোনো এভিডেন্স পাচ্ছেন না, when you don't know whether to give an adverse or to give a qualified report. In that case, you can give a disclaimer. So this is SS705 about the modification in auditor's report. আপনি কিভাবে অডিট রিপোর্ট কোয়ালিফাই করতে পারে। আর এই যেটা আছে SS705, it carries illustrations. If you want to qualify your audit report, how to qualify, how to write your qualified audit report, everything is there in SS705. আমি এখন আসছি গিয়ে SS706, emphasis of matter and other matter. Now, আপনি একটা জিনিস ধরুন আপনি কোয়ালিফাই করতে চাইছেন না, at the same time you feel that the matter is so important that it should be brought to the main audit report. For example, আপনি একটা notes on accounts লিখেছেন যে the debtors are pending, no confirmation have been received from the debtors and the balances of debtors are pending reconciliation. আপনি ধরুন লিখলেন, or the GST is pending reconciliation, আপনি লিখলেন। আপনি এই পয়েন্টগুলোর জন্য GST is pending reconciliation লিখলেন। এই পয়েন্টগুলোর জন্য আপনি অডিটরস রিপোর্ট আপনি কোয়ালিফাই করতে চাইছেন না, at the same time you want to bring this point to the body of your main audit report. আপনি কি লিখবেন? We refer to note number 12.5 of the notes to account, which states that the debtors are subject to confirmation. Full stop. তারপরে লিখবেন our report is not modified. Sorry, you can hear me now, no? Now I was muted for some time. You can hear me now. So you see, so our report, our auditor's report is not modified in respect of this matter. So that is, you see, when do you use emphasis of matter? Emphasis of matter is used if the matter is in the, see, financial statements. You do not want to qualify on that matter, but at the same time you want to bring that matter to the main body of your auditor's report. Then you use emphasis of matter. খুব important কিন্তু emphasis of matter, but emphasis of matter is not an alternative to qualification. আপনি যদি qualification করতে চান, আপনি qualification করবেন। যদি qualification না করে আপনি যদি দেখো, আমি আপনাকে বললাম যে GST is subject to reconciliation or whatever, on these points, if you want to bring it to the main audit report without qualifying, use emphasis of matter. Use emphasis of matter. But no problem, use emphasis of matter. So I have told you about SS 700, SS 705, SS 706. So these are all auditors report. You know, these are all points regarding auditors report. These are all points regarding auditors report. Very, very important. These are all points regarding auditors report. আমি এখন আজকে আমি যখন সকালবেলা আমরা যখন প্রেজেন্টেশন করছিলাম, তখন এমসিএ সেক্রেটারি সাহেব বললেন, ফ্রড রিপোর্টিং তোমরা কি করছো? telling us fraud reporting তোমরা কি করছো? আর এটার উপরে আমি একটু বলবো, কারণ উনি আবার ওনার আরওসি কে ইনস্ট্রাকশন দিলেন যে ফ্রড রিপোর্টিং অডিটররা ঠিক করে করছে কিনা তুমি দেখতে হবে। So we all noted this. Please note, regarding fraud reporting, there is a standard called SA 240. SA 240 is a standard relating to fraud reporting. SA 240 is a standard relating to fraud reporting. Now, and then we have, if you are the auditor of a company, we have section 143, subsection 12 of the Companies Act, which says, if the value of the fraud is 1 crore rupees or more, in that case, you have to report the fraud to the central government within 60 days of you finding out the fraud. It means that you did not wait to sign your audit report. As soon as you have found out a fraud, or you think a fraud is going to be committed, within 60 days, you have to inform that fraud to the central government by using a form called ADT4. ADT4 is the form which you use. Please note, if the value of the fraud is 1 crore rupees or more. If the value of the fraud is less than 1 crore, in that case, you have to inform the matter to the board of directors, and the board of directors are supposed to mention that matter of fraud, in the directors report. আমি এখন আপনাকে আমরা না একটা guidance note on reporting for fraud under section 143 subsection 12 আমরা ইনস্টিটিউট একটা বের করেছে guidance note. We have got the guidance note. আমি এই এক্সাম্পল তো অনেক জায়গায় দিই. It is just this example covers lot of things and also covers the importance of attending programs like this, why it is so important for attending programs like this. Now, let me just tell you. আমি না একবার উড়িষ্যাতে একটা ব্রাঞ্চে আমি বলছি, I was speaking at this thing about 2 বছর আগের কথা। উড়িষ্যাতে একটা ব্রাঞ্চে আমি বলছি, I was speaking on, আমার সাবজেক্টটাই ছিল গিয়ে fraud reporting under the Companies Act. আমার সাবজেক্টটাই ছিল গিয়ে fraud reporting under the Companies Act, and সেটার উপর আমি বলছি। আমি আপনাদের যেটা বললাম সেম জিনিস বলছি যে 1 কোটি টাকার উপরে যদি হয় তোমাকে গভর্নমেন্ট অফ ইন্ডিয়াকে দিতে হবে, আর 1 কোটি টাকা তলায় যদি হয় বোর্ড অফ ডিরেক্টরস কে ইনফর্ম করতে হবে, আর তারা ডিরেক্টরস রিপোর্ট they will carry that in the directors report. Very nice. So everything was stated. They heard it. Please note, non-reporting of fraud under section 143(12) has penal consequence. 5 lakh টাকা থেকে 25 lakh টাকা penalty আছে for non-reporting of fraud under section 143(12). And frauded definition যেটা আছে না, for the first time Companies Act is section 447 এ frauded definition আছে. Similarly, SA 240 তেও frauded definition আছে. তো আমি ওই ওড়িশার ওই ব্রাঞ্চে আমি বললাম 2 বছর আগে রিগার্ডিং দিস 1 কোটি টাকা। তো বলার পরে আমাদের টি ব্রেক হলাম, চা খাচ্ছিলাম। তো একজন আমি দেখছি আপনারা অনেকে এখানে বয়স্ক আছেন, তো একজন বয়স্ক ভদ্রলোক তার ওনার ছেলের সঙ্গে আমার সাথে দেখা করতে এলেন। আমাকে বললো যে মিত্র সাহেব, আপনার we have heard you speak on fraud, But let me tell you, and see, we have seen the limits and all this. But you see, we have been spending sleepless nights in the last few 6 or 7 days. So I said that, please tell me what is the bolde. You see, the gentleman who was very senior, he said that, Mr. Mitra, we are the auditor of quite a large PSU. Large PSU. We are the auditor of large PSU. We are a big firm. That PSU had a fraud of about 1.3 crores. And he said that the fraud was detected by the PSU itself. The fraud was detected by the PSU itself. The fraud was detected by them. The PSU informed the police also. It filed an FIR also with the police. এখন এই ভদ্রলোক যে অডিটর আমাকে বলছে, but Mr. Dr. Mitra, we have committed an error. We did not file ADT4 and did not, you see, inform the government of India about this fraud because the value of the fraud is more than 1 crore. We should have informed the government of India, but we, we made an error. We did not inform. We did not use the form ADT4. So you see, he was saying that now, you see, we are going to be in trouble. The penal consequences are huge. So you see, we are spending sleepless nights on this. So he was saying that, Dr. Mitra, what do you think about it? So I asked him this question. I said that, who found out the fraud? He said that, sir, the company found out the fraud. And the company reported the fraud in the FIR to the police station. I said that in that case, you need not worry. Go and have a good, peaceful sleep at night. He was very surprised. He said that, how am I saying this? And he was looking at me. His son was looking at me because I could see that both of them were very, very much disturbed by the fact that they did not report this fraud to the, they did not report this fraud to the government of India. I said that there is a guidance note issued by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India in 2015-16 on reporting for fraud under section 143, subsection 12. The guidance note says that if the fraud has been detected by the company, in that case, the auditor does not have any responsibility to inform the central government again, because since the fraud has been detected by the company itself has informed the central government, or the company itself has informed the police. So the necessary action has already been taken on this matter. So you see, the guidance note is very clear. So I said that, please refer to the guidance note. This senior man, you can see the happiness on his face. I said that, sir, before you feel very happy, your son is very young man. You see, ask him to have download the guidance note and have a look at it. So you see, he was very happy. He said that, all right, very nice. Then he said that, but he said, Dr. Mitra, this fraud, this senior man, look, he's a sincere chartered accountant. He said that, do you mean to say that this fraud is not going to be reported by me in my audit report altogether? He said that, you see, this guidance note, you have said that the fraud need not be reported to the government of India. I can understand that. But does it mean that this fraud is not required to be reported by me altogether in any part of the report? I said that I did not say that. I said that in the Caro reporting that you are having, in the Caro reporting, there you have to report on fraud. So there in the Caro reporting, you are required to report on fraud. This gentleman, he asked his son, well, I think we have reported this on the Caro. The son said, yes, sir, we have reported. Yes, father, we have reported this on the Caro. So, both the father and the son were so happy. Here, let me tell you the moral of the story. I knew the guidance note. I could help him out. Right? He was not aware of the existence of such a guidance note. Those of us who are hearing me, now you know the existence of that guidance note. So it is so important that we attend this kind of programs keep ourselves updated, because the auditing standards are our protective shields. They are our protective shields. আমি যখন ভদ্রলোকের guidance note কথা বললাম না, you could have seen this kind of smile that senior man must have been. He must be about 75 years. The kind of smile that senior man had on his face. Kind of smile that senior man had on his face. So see, it is, you know, if you study, if you are updated, you will always be safe and nobody can touch you. Nobody can touch you. So this is very important. Please note, since I was speaking about Caro, let me take you to the Caro 2020. Caro ta na change hoye geche. Caro has changed. So Caro ekhon, you see, now you had a Caro 2016 and now a new Caro has come, that is Caro 2020. Please note, earlier the Caro 2020 was supposed to be applicable for 1920 financial year. But because of COVID, Caro 2020 has been deferred and it will be applicable from 2021. Caro 2020 will now be applicable for financial year 2021. And when you sign the report for financial year 1920, what will be applicable will be Caro 2016. Caro 2016. I'm sure at this time next year, you will be having so many programs on Caro. So many programs on Caro. And let me tell you what we did. Caro 2020, I mean, just like a point niye apnake eghiye jacchi, ami beshi bolbo na, because when you will have, and we have already issued the guidance note on Caro 2020 on 1st of July 2020. We have already issued the guidance note on Caro 2020 on 1st of July 2020. কিন্তু আমি বারবার বলছি, আপনি কিন্তু কনফিউজড হবেন না। Caro 2020 is applicable for 2021. It is not applicable for 1920. 1920 financial year, Caro 2016 is applicable. Caro 2020 is not applicable. Confused হবেন না, ঠিক আছে? এখন Caro 2020 তে দেখুন একটা পয়েন্ট আছে। And I was representing the institute when the Caro 2020 was being developed. বলছে every quarter, if your company, the company which you are auditing, if your company has taken any working capital limit from a bank, then at the end of every quarter, আমি যে stock statement দিই, সেই stock statemenটের সঙ্গে আমার অ্যাকাউন্টসটা মিলছে কিনা আপনাকে দেখে নিতে হবে। আর অ্যাকাউন্টসের যে স্টকের ফিগার আছে, সেটা যদি স্টক স্টেটমেন্টের সঙ্গে না মিলে থাকে, you have to qualify the report. You have to qualify the report. তার মানে 31st March 2021 যদি আপনার কোম্পানি, যে কোম্পানি আপনি অডিট করছেন, তারা যদি কোনো ওয়ার্কিং ক্যাপিটাল লিমিট নিয়ে থাকে, আর তাদের যদি স্টক স্টেটমেন্ট যদি ব্যাংকে দেওয়া থাকে, আর যেই ব্যাংকের স্টক স্টেটমেন্ট যে ভ্যালু আছে, সেই ভ্যালুটা যদি ব্যালেন্স শিটের সঙ্গে না মিলে থাকে, যে ব্যালেন্স শিটের সঙ্গে যদি না মিলে থাকে, ইন দ্যাট কেস উই হ্যাভ টু কোয়ালিফাই। কত বড় এটা চেঞ্জ আসছে, এটা কিন্তু প্লিজ নোট 2021 থেকে চেঞ্জ আসছে। And this change, when this was being discussed, we said that, sir, we told the government that, sir, see, how can we have this kind of a, you see, big change applicable to all small companies? So এখন এরা কি করেছে, এরা বলছে if the cash credit limit of a company is 5 crores or more, then only the auditors must report on this point about whether the value of inventory as submitted to the bank tallies with the accounts. If the limit of cash credit or the amount of cash credit is 5 crores or more, only then the auditors are going to report. Otherwise, the auditors are not required to report. So, আপনি নোট করেছেন যে কত বড় ড্রাস্টিক চেঞ্জ আসছে Caro 2020 তে। Please note, I again repeat, a Caro 2020 is applicable for 2021, not in 1920. The Caro 2016 is এখন, and I'll finish up in the next 5-10 minutes, then I'll take questions. আমাদের না একটা বলা হয়েছে, সেদিন আমাদের একজন আমাদের last year, one gentleman he came to my office, and then I'm talking about cash flow statements. সেই ভদ্রলোক কি হলো, he came to me with a notice from the ROC, saying, and the ROC has written that the company has not prepared cash flow statement, so why action should not be taken against the company as well as the auditor. This gentleman, he came to me, to my office. He said that Debashis, তোমাকে না একটা strong letter লিখতে হবে ROC কে, কারণ ROC ভুলভাল লিখছে, cash flow যেটা আছে, it is applicable only for big companies. Cash flow is not applicable for a small private limited company. আমাকে বলা হলো. He told me that cash flow is not applicable for a small private limited company. আমাকে বললো দেবাশিস এটা সব ভুলভাল লিখেছে, তুমি আমাকে রিপ্লাই একটা করো। আমি বললাম যে স্যার আপনি যদি খারাপ না পান, can I know the size of the company? Can I know the size of the company? সে বললো আমার কোম্পানি না paid up capital is only 15 lakh rupees, only 15 lakh টাকা paid up capital, private limited company, 15 lakh টাকা paid up capital, কিসের ক্যাশ ফ্লোর কথা বলছে আমাকে বলছে। আমি বলছি স্যার শুনলাম একদম ফার্স্ট ক্লাস, আপনি ফার্স্ট টেস্ট আপনি পাস করে গেলেন। আমি বললাম যে আপনার কোম্পানির টার্নওভার যেটা আছে, সেলস যেটা আছে কত আছে? আমাকে বলতো সেলসটা না 2 কোটি 20 লাখ টাকা, 2 crores 20 lakhs। বলছে আজকালকার দিনে 2 কোটি টাকা সেলস কি আছে? কিচ্ছু না, 2 crores 20 lakhs আমাকে বলছে। সো সি বলছে আমাকে এত ছোট একটা কোম্পানি তার মধ্যে ক্যাশ ফ্লো করবো, আরো সে কি মানে হয়ে গেছে। I told him that স্যার আপনি যদি খারাপ না পান, ভেরি সিনিয়র ম্যান, আমি বলছি যে আপনি যদি খারাপ না পান, লেট মি জাস্ট টেল ইউ, আরওসি যেটা করেছে না ঠিক করেছে। সে ভদ্রলোক না আমার দিকে একদম মানে বড় বড় চোখ করে he started looking at me, that what he is talking about? I said that sir, financial statements এর definition আছে ये section 2 subsection 40 of the Companies Act আছে। section 2 subsection 40 of the Companies Act বলে financial statements হলো গিয়ে balance sheet, financial statement হলো গিয়ে profit and loss, financial statement হলো গিয়ে cash flow, financial statement হলো গিয়ে changes, statement of changes in equity, these are all financials if applicable। আর বলছে ক্যাশ ফ্লো কোন রকম কোম্পানিতে প্রিপেয়ার করতে লাগবে না, বলছে ক্যাশ ফ্লো is not required to be prepared in the case of a small company। What is the definition of a small company? The definition of a small company is that it is to be a private limited company whose paid up capital does not exceed 50 lakh rupees and whose turnover does not exceed 2 crores। In this example that this gentleman, the case this gentleman had brought before me, the turnover, the paid up capital was 15 lakhs, less than 50 lakhs. But the turnover was 2 crores, more than 2 crores. Consequently, it was not a small company. And if you are not a small company, then you have to prepare a cash flow. And after you cash flow prepare, the accounting standard is AS3. And there are two different methods of preparing cash flow: direct method, indirect method. Accounting standard 3 bole, then if you prepare indirect method, it is easier. If you prepare the cash flow on the basis of indirect method, it is easier. That is accounting standard 3. That is what it says. Ami ekhon karo bole galam, let me just tell you that regarding schedule 3 of the Companies Act, very important. Schedule 3 যারা আমরা ব্যালেন্স শিট পিএল যারা সাইন করছি, আমি খালি কোম্পানি স্মল প্রাইভেট লিমিটেড কোম্পানি কথা বলছি, আমরা যারা ব্যালেন্স শিট পিএল যারা আমরা সাইন করছি, the format of the balance sheet and PL is contained in schedule 3 to the Companies Act. Format is contained. Schedule 3 তে না তিনটা রকম ডিভিশন আছে, The division 1 contains the format of balance sheet and PL of a non-Ind-AS company, Division 2 contains the format of balance sheet and PL of a Ind-AS content of balance sheet and PL of a NBFC. So you have 3 divisions in schedule 3: division 1, division 2, division 3. Division 1 holo gaya format of financial statements of a non-Ind-AS company. Division 2 holo gaya format of financial statements of an Ind-AS company. Division 3 holo gaya format of financial statements of NBFC. Please note that. Apnara jara amar kotha shunchen, you see, you might now ask me that Debashis ei Ind-AS er kothata bolcho, which companies are required to prepare accounts on the basis of Ind AS and which companies are not required to prepare accounts on the basis of Ind AS. Ind AS holo giye, you know, it is for bigger companies. If you are a listed company, if you are a company having a net worth of 250 crores or more, you have to prepare your financial statements based on Ind AS. If you are not this kind of companies, then you have to prepare your financial statements based on AS, which is part of Companies Accounting Standard Rules 2006. Athaste AS ache. So this AS which you have been following, you have to follow this AS, provided your company is not a listed company or your company does not have a net worth of more than 250 crores. In that case, you can prepare your accounts based on AS, and the AS are those accounting standards which are part of Companies Accounting Standard Rules 2006, which was notified on 7th of December 2006. Apnara je jegulo AS korchen, these are all non-Ind AS standards. These are all part of standards. These are all part of accounting standards, Companies Accounting Standard Rules 2006. Ami কয়েকদিন আগে EIRC তে বলছিলাম, Eastern Regional Council on the same topic. Question answer session এ একজন যেই চার্টার্ড অ্যাকাউন্টেন্ট আমাকে বলল যে SA 560 মানে সাবসিকুয়েন্ট ইভেন্টস মানে after the auditor, after the company has approved the accounts, and between the period between the company's approval of accounts and the signing of accounts by the auditor, if there is a change, how does the auditor handle that? That's subsequent events. AS4 holo giye events occurring after the balance sheet date. That is AS4, Accounting Standard 4. Please note, Accounting Standard 4 has now undergone a change. Accounting Standard 4 e ki change hoyeche? Proposed dividend. Age amra ki kortam? Proposed dividend ta amra balance sheet e niye astam, and you are showing that as a liability in the balance sheet. Proposed dividend. Ekhon AS4 bolche je proposed dividend jeta ache, that becomes final only when the AGM says that yes, dividend has to be declared. Since the AGM is not held at the time of signing of the audit report, hence proposed dividend should not be forming part of your financial statements, and the proposed dividend should be accounted for on payment basis. The year in which you pay, you account for the proposed dividend. So that is the situation. So proposed dividend. এখন আমাকে এই ভদ্রলোক প্রশ্ন করলো, আমাকে বললো যে adjusting event and what is non-adjusting event according to AS4. I will take only 5 minutes of your time. আমি মানে 1 ঘন্টার উপরে বলে ফেলেছি, 1 ঘন্টা খালি বলে ফেলেছি, but this, you just note this example with great deal of interest, how interesting accounts can be. আপনার ধরুন debtors 31st March 2020 তে 100 টাকা ছিল, and this question came to me. I see somebody asked me this question seeking my opinion. Debtors as on 31st March 2020 is 100, out of which 30 rupees worth of debtors become insolvent in May 2020. May 2020, 30 rupees out of this 100, they become insolvent in May 2020. এখন প্রশ্নটা হলো গিয়ে যে as on 31st of March 2020, should my debtor be 100 rupees less 30, that is 70 rupees, or should my debtor be 100 rupees as it was as on March 2020? আমি এক্সাম্পলটা আবার একটা রিপিট করছি। আমার ডেটার 31st March 2020 তে 100 টাকা ছিল, তার মধ্যে থেকে 30 টাকার ডেটার্স ইন দ্য মান্থ অফ মে 2020 ইনসলভেন্ট হয়ে গেল। এখন আমি 31st March 2020 তে ডেটার্সটা আমি কি 70 টাকা দেখাবো না 100 টাকা দেখাবো? এই প্রশ্নটা মানে এই প্রশ্ন করা হলো আমাকে। যখন এই প্রশ্ন করা হলো, I said that first of all let me ask you one question, যে এই যে ইনসলভেন্ট হয়ে গেল ডেটাটা, এই ডেটার ইনসলভেন্সি প্রসিডিংস যেটা আছে, whether it started before 31st of March 2020 or it did not start before 31st of March 2020. আমাকে বলা হলো that the insolvency proceedings started before 31st of March 2020. Once that happens, it becomes an adjusting event. It becomes an adjusting event. তাহলে আপনার কি করতে হবে? The data that will be there as on 31st March 2020 will be 100 minus 30, that will be 70. আমাকে তখন আরেকজন বললো, একজন প্রশ্ন করলো যে ঠিক আছে দেবাশিস আপনি এটা বললেন যে 100 অ্যাডজাস্টিং ইভেন্ট, যদি ইনসলভেন্সি প্রসিডিংসটা আমরা 31st March 2020 আগে শুরু না হয়ে if the proceedings would have started after 31st of March 2020, কি হতো? In that case, it would have been a non-adjusting event and the data would have remained as 100 rupees as on 31st March 2020. The adjusting event তখনই হয় when the event had started before 31st March 2020 and ended after 31st March 2020, then you adjust whatever is required as on 31st March 2020. But if the event has started after 31st of March 2020, even though it has culminated before the signing of your audit report, do not give any consequence to that event. So that is called adjusting event and that is a non-adjusting event. Adjusting event আপনাকে adjust করতে হবে ব্যালেন্স শিটে, non-adjusting event কে আপনার ব্যালেন্স শিটে adjust করা দরকার নেই. This is part of accounting standard for events occurring after the balance sheet. Events occurring after the balance sheet. So I hope I have, I have explained to you the rudiments of auditing standards. I have taken you through the accounting standards. I have also taken you through the accounting standards, which are very, very important. The accounting standards that are there, and I hope that you have enjoyed. The whole idea was to make you enjoy the whole topic, not to frighten you with everything. I hope you have enjoyed the whole topic. I thank all of you. I find that you see the number of attendance has already gone up. When I started speaking, it was 50. Now I find it's become 57. So I even at 8, it's 8:16 according to my watch, and all of you are still there. So it is excellent that you want to enjoy and learn about auditing standards. So I am extremely pleased. With these words, I will end my deliberation and I will look forward to questions from your side. So whatever be your questions, I would like to answer them. So thank you very much for the patient hearing. Suman, if you can tell me what are the questions, then I can start answering them.
Yes, sir.
Would you like to tell me the questions, Suman, or should I?
Right. Yeah, I can narrate you the questions.
What is the first question?
Yeah.
Yes,
sir, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yeah. I'll request all the participants.
I can hear you.
I can request all the participants, if they have any question, they can put up their question in the chat box, and we can go one by one the question put up in the chat box. Right now the question asked by Mr. Kollan Kumar Saha said that most of the data in government sector do not bother to respond auditors letter. What to do?
Yes, so nice, very, very good question, Mr. Saha. What I would like to do is this. After Mr. Saha, that you should use emphasis of matter. You should immediately use emphasis of matter right in the main audit report. Reference is invited to note number this much of the notes to accounts, which states that the data that confirmations have not been received from the data. You write that and bring it in the main audit report. So please do that. Now, if these data are more than 3 years old, and if these data are having same balances every year, then you may think of qualifying your audit report. Please note, emphasis of matter is not a qualification, but if the data are more than 3 years old and the same balances are being carried forward, you may think of qualifying your audit report. That's what I would like to say. My advice to you, Mr. Saha. Next one.
Yeah, many of the times it is since as the question are coming on in the chat box, we will follow in the chat box. one question from my side, sir, that many of the times regarding the confirmation balance of the debtors and creditors, we always give a note that confirmation of the debtors and creditors is awaited. So what is your opinion regarding these comments? We on the safer side, we give these comments in whether we ask for the debtors and creditors confirmation or not, and as well as how much time we should wait and what is the time period for the gap we should ask for the confirmation. This is my question to you, sir.
Yeah. Suman, let me tell you, the auditing standard SA 505 mandates on you, if you are the auditor of a small company, I'm talking about if you're the auditor of a small company, okay, mandates on you, because these auditing standards have got statutory recognition. So, mandates on you that you should seek confirmation from the debtors. And you see, suppose you have written for the confirmation, and if the confirmation have not come till the signing of your audit report, you see, or till the accounts are approved by the board, in that case, you should not only write in the notes to accounts, but you should also bring that point by way of emphasis of matter in the main audit report. So the period of waiting should be till the accounts are approved by the board. So if the board is that's the period of waiting. That's the period of waiting. But confirmation, external confirmations, as per the auditing standard SA 505, external confirmation is a must. You should take the external confirmation.
Thank you, sir. Right now, sir, many of the companies like to see that now cryptocurrency is also getting approval, and sir, banking balance and the balance from the other financial institution is a requirement. So what to do with this cryptocurrency or digital type of like the Paytm account, like the PayPal account balances? So from whom are to they get this confirmation, and as a auditor, how you get it confirmed? Because this confirmation given by the this type of cryptocurrencies or any type of currency, they just give us a confirmation in a plain pad, not even signed balance. So how to verify this?
You see, cryptocurrency, if you have it, and there is some kind of a doubt to what extent, because RBI at some point of time has said that the cryptocurrency is not legal. But anyway, cryptocurrency is there is no doubt. Let me tell you, the institute, Suman, is now, studying how to show this, the cryptocurrency that is there. Should it be shown as an investment in the balance sheet, or should it be shown under the head of cash and cash equivalents? Under what head it should be shown? Because there is a viewpoint that it should be shown as an investment. There is also a viewpoint that it should be shown on the head of cash and cash equivalent. So, it is now being looked into. I think the institute will come out with a guidance on this, and they see in the short period of time on cryptocurrency. Because and even the government has sought opinion of the institute on this cryptocurrency, how to account for it.
Yes, sir. Because wallet is also becoming popular nowadays in this pandemic period.
Yes.
Wallet is also to be considered as good as a bank account.
Yeah, bank account. So wallet is different. Wallet, if it is there, it will come as cash and cash equivalent. Bank account. Yes.
So I think Abhishek Sarkar has come out with a question, sir. Sir, can you elaborate a little bit regarding UDIN generation for companies? I am asking this since the last of AGM is not yet extended. Only companies are struggling to complete the accounts within the limit, so that clear 21 days time is available for notice to be sent, considering the due date of AGM is on 30th of September.
Look, as things stands today, the UDIN can be backdated only up to 15 days, if I understand correctly. Only up to 15 days you can go back, right? So not beyond that. So you have to take that. The UDIN has come, number one, because so many fake certificates were there. Just to prevent you, just to protect the membership from being accused of having signed fake certificates, UDIN has come. As of now, as I said, UDIN can be backdated only to the extent of 15 days. I think that is staying till now. Please note the UDIN Directorate has issued a lot of FAQs on UDIN. Please have a look at all the FAQs that have been issued. The FAQs are very simple in nature. Have a look at the FAQs that have been issued. Regarding this extension of date, let me just tell you that for these AGMs, their representations have gone to the government of India to extend this date up to 31st of December. We have every reason to believe that this date could be extended. So you see, that should not be a matter of great deal of concern for you, even though I do not say that you stop preparing or stop doing the audit, expecting the extension. I do not say that, but there is a strong possibility that the extension will be there.
Thank you, Hakim, for the extension, because till now the railway has also extended the lockdown period. Getting our article staff to our office is also a problem right now. We are expecting that we will be coping out with the emergency period.
Yes. I think Suman, this extension should come because lot of chambers, I think the institute has also told the government that there should be an extension on this. I think the extension will come.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Anyone who wants to ask any question can raise their hands. There is an option in this platform. You can raise your hands, then I can allow you to be on an unmute mode, and you can ask your question also. Do anyone wants to ask any question?
Yes.
I think Manusda wants. Yes, Manus goes.
Manusda?
Yes.
You can. Manusda, you can.
Good evening to everybody. Good evening to Debashis. Thanks for your presence and hearing a lot of good, useful tips from you. Tips from you. So my question is regarding SS 705. Can you hear me, Debashis?
Yeah.
Yes.
You can.
Yes. I can hear you. Yes. You have been muted. Manusda, you have been muted. Unmute Korun Apni. Unmute Korun. Yeah.
Regarding SS 705, you have said 4 types of audit.
Yes.
You have classified audit report in 4 types.
That's right. Again you are muted. Manusda, again you are muted. Unmute Korun.
It is going out.
Yeah. Now.
So, you have classified the audit report in 4 types. Suppose there are matters which covers 2 to 3 types of the qualification. Can that go in one report, or how it will be going in one report?
No. You have to either give a qualification. You have to give an adverse, because if it is adverse, it cannot be qualified. It cannot be qualified, right? So you cannot do 2 or 3 types of this thing. You have to take a stand.
One stand.
One type of reporting.
I see. There may be matters which generally cover by way of a note and refer to the note.
Yes.
So that
in that case, you see, if it is covered by a note, you may think of giving a basis of matter, or you may give a qualification. Once you give an adverse, Manusda, it is it's a very serious matter. Adverse means the balance sheet does not give a true and fair.
right.
So once you give an adverse, there is no question of you thinking about a qualification. Adverse is adverse. So that is how it is. That's how it is.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Saha, I think, wants to put some questions. Sir, you can unmute yourself and ask the question. Mr. Saha, I think you have...
Yes, actually, due to this COVID situation, for our stock audit, the client says that he cannot take us to the site. They want to do video conference and show by mobile that whatever the stocks lying over there. Is it correct thing to do?
Yes, the institute, Mr. Saha, has come out with a guidance on this. The institute has said that yes, it is possible for a video conferencing to take place for stock verification, but the institute has said that just because a video conferencing has been done, it does not mean that the stock verification is correct. It will depend on the professional skepticism of the auditors. That is, the auditors must use their own professional skepticism. The institute has also said that if you go for a video conferencing, it may not be possible for you to find out the obsolete stock which might be there. But at the same time, in principle, the institute has said that it is not against video conferencing. It is not against video conferencing. That has been the guidance of the institute. If you see the COVID publications of the institute, in one of the COVID publications of the institute, it has been stated that we are on principle not against video verification of events.
Thank you. Debashis, in that case,
Yes.
as you have said about the stock verification, in that case, the auditor reserves the right to mention the actual situation if he is not satisfied how the
Correct.
stock has been verified.
Yes, 100%. 100% it should do that.
Right.
100%. If he's not satisfied, sir, today what has happened, Manusda and Shah Sahib, today what has happened is this audit has become a very specialized function. Why the institute has made this 2 hours compulsory? Because over a period of time, we have never bothered about the auditing standards. But the institute feels that the auditing standards are protective shields for the auditors. And it is very important that the auditors know about auditing standards. And because, you see, what has happened, earlier there were no such penal consequences. Now the penal consequences have come in the various statutes. So you see, it's become very important that the auditors know about the auditing standards. And that's why you see all this, programs have been this thing. So my advice to the members who are hearing me, if you have some doubt, or if you feel that the balance sheet does not give a true and fair view, or if you feel that the balance sheet or the financial statements merits a qualification, please go ahead and qualify. Many of us as seniors, we have seen better days earlier when you see nobody, caught hold of us. But now there are penalties all over the place. So you see, it is very important that if you have any doubt, as Manusda is saying, he had some doubt about the stock verification, the value of the stock. You see, if you have some doubt, then you go ahead and qualify. Go ahead and qualify. Please do that.
Debashis, is the auditor in any way responsible to the banks? Because if the bank has lent money to the client, does the bank expect some specific information from the auditor on a medium-sized borrower or a big borrower?
You see, the bank can only hold the auditor responsible if the auditor, has signed a balance sheet which is palpably wrong, and he has said that the balance sheet gives a true and fair view. So if the auditor, which Manusda again, the other day I was sitting in the disciplinary committee. What this gentleman has done, auditor has done, and you see, it's so sad to see this, Manusda. That gentleman has signed 2 audit reports, 2 balance sheets. One for the income tax, one for the bank. He has signed two balance sheets. Now, you see, the one on which he has signed for the bank, that account became NPA. And you see, there was this thing on this, there was a lot of inquiries on this, and the bank referred the matter to the disciplinary committee. And when the disciplinary committee, we were hearing him, we said, how you could sign 2 balance sheets? Why do you do it? He's saying, sir, you see, I have been only in practice for 4 years. Sir, please, excuse me, I will not do this mistake again. Now, sir, what to say? Tell me. If you do all this, sir, you see, it's very difficult for the institute. Because the prestige of the institute, the brand value of the institute goes down. So those of us who are hearing me, please do not go for all this, because if that account becomes NPA, there is every possibility that the matter will come to the institute, and the disciplinary committee of the institute, we are a 5-member disciplinary committee, has 2 members who are government nominees. And these 2 government nominees, the first thing that they say is, hold them guilty. So it's, and we feel very embarrassed sitting in the disciplinary committee with the government nominees, where you find that this kind of things are happening. But Manusda, as I have said, in the one example that I had given you about going concern, is the government nominees, they said, isko bhi guilty kar do. I said that nothing doing, sir. He did not make a mistake. There was a going concern, because the next year the company was functioning normally. So just because in 1 year there was a 90% drop in sales, you cannot hang that auditor. At the end, our voice prevailed. Because what we did, we explained to the government nominees the rudiments of SA 570, that is going concern. We explained to them. And we said that this is going concern and should not, you should not really try to hang him. But Manusda, you are right. If you are going to sign 2 different reports, Earlier, there was always this, point which I saw in the disciplinary committee also. People used to say, these reports are all fake. I have not signed these reports. These reports are all fake. I have not signed these reports. That's why UDIN has come. Now with the UDIN coming, you cannot say that it's fake, because you have to put your UDIN in the report that you sign. So you have to be that much more careful.
Debashis, whatever you have said, or the knowledge you have imparted, it is applicable only to the corporate or to the partnership, individuals, or HUF.
Everything. Partnership, individuals, everything.
This parameter applies to.
Yeah. Honestly, you see, those of us who are hearing me, we are trying to position the institute as a partner in nation building. Sir, what is the use of earning lots of money if we have no respect in the society, or if we have no respect in the government quarters? Sir, I'm not saying we don't have respect. I'm saying that we as a profession has great respect. We have contributed immensely, sir, to the nation building. For example, GST. If chartered accountants would not have been there, GST would not have been successful. Sir, we are very clear in our mind. The way we have contributed. Sir, we have converted railways from cash to accrual. We have done that ourselves, sir. We have done that. Our contribution has been there as a partner in nation building, sir. And we want to take it forward as a brand for the profession, that a partner in nation building. And that's why, sir, when you have this kind of situation, people signing here and there, we feel very disheartened. We are trying to see, Manojda, that whenever anybody, you, Mr. Saha, anybody else, you go out and you say that you are a chartered accountant, you should be respected. First thing, they should say that these people, they have helped the country grow. And they deserve our full respect. That is the way, sir, we want to position the institute and the profession. Yes, Suman, tell me. Suman, you are muted. Suman, you are muted.
Sir, there is a question from Parthapratim Paul. Can the statutory order depend on the value of the stock certified by the management?
No, he cannot depend. Blindly, he cannot depend. Please do not do that. You see, there is something called professional skepticism. You must use your professional skepticism and find out whether the certificate given by the management is correct, true and fair or not. If it is not true and fair, then you go for further investigation. And if you're not satisfied, qualify your audit report. That's what I would suggest. Please do not take a chance. Yes, Suman, please.
Sir, they can depend upon the stock verified by any other third party.
Yes. Suppose the auditor here, suppose you say I am the auditor and I am based in Bombay. Suppose I also, and the company which I'm auditing has a branch in Calcutta. Suppose I tell Suman that Suman, you do the as the internal audit or stock verification of that branch in Calcutta, and the report that Suman gives about the stock verification of that branch in Calcutta, the main auditor can adopt that report, and based on that report, he can certify. So that is possible.
So there is a.
Sorry, you carry on.
Yeah, there is a question from Podut Memu. So what is the note regarding cash in hand on the 31st of March, as we could not count physical due to COVID 2019?
Yeah, you see, in that case, what is to be done is alternate audit procedures. That is, suppose you could count the cash in hand in the month of May or in the month of June, and then you back calculate to find out what would be the cash as on 31st of March 2020. And if your back calculation shows that the cash that you have got by back calculating as on 31st March 2020 tallies with the cash that is there in the financial statements, I think you should be very safe.
So right now there is no other question, but
Sir,
one thing.
Thank you.
Yeah, sir, Mr. Saha has a question. Sir, you can carry.
To what extent is stock auditor be responsible for the valuation of the stocks they submitted during the year for a company?
The stock auditor in this case, you are meaning, say, suppose a bank has given a loan to a loan and it has appointed a stock auditor. I would like to think that is a difference.
Yes,
I
yes.
would like to think what Mr. Saha is saying is this: the stock auditor. I think what you are saying, the stock auditor is different from the financial auditor. That's the point that you are saying. The stock auditor is a different person. The financial auditor is a different person. In whatever the question that you are asking, Mr.
Yes.
Saha. So, if the stock auditor, I would like to explain this further. Suppose a stock audit assignment has been given to me. Suppose there is a X company limited and the bank has given a stock audit assignment to me. Suppose the bank has given me a stock audit assignment. In that case, if I do not do that stock, suppose the stock that I find is rupees 100 when I do the stock as audit assignment, and I write that the stock is 500 that I have found, even though the stock that was there was only of rupees 100. In that case, and if the bank, relying on my stock audit report, enhances or renews the limit of that party, in that case, the stock auditor, if he has given a false report, will be certainly hauled up, sir. Will be certainly hauled up.
Yes, in reality, it is other way around. When we found that the stock is less and the DP is falling down, then the bankers, they themselves say, sorry, please look into this once again. Because then his position becomes bad.
I can understand that, Mrs. Saha. But today, what I would advise is, when you do a stock audit, go for the actual position. Please note what I have said in Karo now. Because of this, the government of India has brought in this Karo. Now they are saying that as on 31st March 2021, the stock that you have given in the stock statement to the bank must tally with the stock that you are showing in the balance sheet.
Yes.
You see what is the difference that is going to come up, sir? How difficult it is going to be for the auditor, sir.
So in that case, it can be a good avenue for the CS that they can do the stock audit quarterly. You can impress upon that thing that the banker should do the stock audit quarterly.
Correct. But yes, certainly. Then this new stock auditors can be appointed and then they will do it. Certainly, sir. Why not? Why not? We shall press that hard. We can press that hard. Yes, certainly, yes.
Sir, Carry on, sir.
Yes. Any other question? I can see something on the chat box.
Can impress upon to the banks that you should do this thing stock audit quarterly instead of once in a year or.
I'm sure, Mr. Saha, that in the future that will be what will be done because the Karo coming in, especially in the case of companies, because Karo is applicable to companies, so especially in the case of companies.
So I'll be sharing my own experience with a banker doing my stock audit. I had been denied of paying my fees by the banker, saying that I have visited 2 times for the stock audit, and the assessee denied to show his stock. So I have given my report showing that as the stock cannot be verified, so the DP on that date is 0. So on that note, the banker has not given my fees. So what to do on this side?
No, but you see, look, Suman, we cannot create unnecessary difficulty for anybody. At the same time, you see, we have to maintain our own professional standards.
Yes.
Because, sir, the penal, again and again, not to frighten anybody this evening, again and again, the penal consequences are huge. The penal consequences are huge. That is the only thing we can say.
Yes.
The penal consequences are huge.
So Parthapotiam Paul has come up with a question. In many cases, such as construction business, etc., it is not possible for the auditor to determine the value of stock. He has to depend on the management, isn't it? So what is the way out?
Construction business, you see, if you want to look, it is like this. SA 541 says that you see, you have to be present for the valuation of the for the verification of the stock at least once in a year. So in the case of construction business, whatever you are saying, suppose you could not be present during the capital work in progress that you are talking about. You do take a management representation, that is very fine. But I have said that, you see, if you have some doubt on the management representation, I would like to think that you verify those stocks. If the stocks are located in some place else other than the place of your audit, in that case, get another CFR to verify the stock on your behalf. But that is only if you are having some doubt. If you feel that yes, things are fine and you don't have doubt, as I have said, use the professional skepticism of the auditors. If you have some doubt, then do not take the management certificate as granted. Apply your own brain. If the stocks are lying somewhere else, get it verified by somebody else. Then only see, it will be fine. Do not rely on management certificates blindly. That is not the way to go.
Sir, on my part, there is one question. Something has been come on heard that MC is thinking of allotment of the company audit in their method. They are finding some method, and they are thinking of some joint auditors. Can you throw some light on this issue?
Right. The institute was asked about this question, that whether joint audit should be done, right? So you see, the institute has given an opinion to the government of India, saying that institute is in favor of joint audit, but then the issue of cost has arisen, that if there is a limited company, the small private limited company will not be in a position to pay the fees of 2 auditors of a company. So the institute has said that we favor joint audit for public interest entities, EIEs. That is big ones. For example, listed companies, or the companies just taken huge funds from banks. That you see, we prefer joint audit for this kind of companies. That has been the stand of the institution.
All right. Anyone questions?
Sir, if anybody not asking any question, then I will ask one question.
All right, we have 10 more minutes with us, so you can.
No. Let other people. I have asked a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Let other people do that.
So you can, sir. You can.
Yes. For construction company, as you have just said, now in the raw material, work in process, and finished goods, etc. There. Now, if it's making a bridge, so what should I? That is an incomplete situation. What kind of finished goods will be there? There will be no finished goods, I think. They're all in work in process.
Yeah. So see, in that case, for the valuation of stock, there are accounting standards for that. Construction contracts, there are accounting standards for that, for the valuation of stock. You just follow the accounting standards that are there for construction purposes. I think the accounting standard is AS7. So you may have a look at the accounting standard, and then accordingly you do it. Sir. What should happen is this accounting standards and the auditing standards that are there, please refer to them. You see, you also have a ICDS also on this. If I recall correctly, there is a ICDS 3. I think you have the income, the income computation and disclosure standards for under the Income Tax Act. So you see, you refer to this standards that are there and follow the requirements of the standards. I think things will be very easy. And also, of course, refer to the guidance note issued by the institute. On this also, on real estate business, the institute has issued a guidance note on how to account for all this. So you can have a look at the guidance note issued by the institute.
Thank you very much.
Sir, after the 74th amendment, government is in a place, and after the smart city proposal has been accepted, the government has been directed to form the special purpose vehicle. This is a company formed under the Companies Act. So, sir, is there any guidance not coming up from the institute on part of the special purpose vehicles?
We already have got this thing, but the special purpose vehicle that you're talking about, we have guidance note on 2 issues. If there is some serious accounting issues involved in this, or if there is a serious auditing issues involved in this, right? So if, for example, the cryptocurrency that you had asked earlier, Suman, there was a accounting issue involved in this, so we are working on that to see how we can go for the accounting part. This special purpose vehicle that you are talking about, as and when there is an accounting issue involved in this, we can look into it and prepare guidance. For example, CSR. corporate social responsibility. There was this question how to account for this CSR. And now we have issued a guidance note on how to account for CSR. So we have issued that guidance note.
Thank you, sir. I think we have already exhausted yours, and you have used the total 2 hours of yours. And you are very kind of you. You have attended all the questions and given answer in as you are all. It touches our heart. And also, sir, one thing, one of the participants is outside our EIRC. He has joined from CIRC. So such a demand of yours as a speaker is not only from the EIRC, from the CIRC.
Okay.
This is an additional information I wanted to give it to you. And as we can see, the number of participants who has started with us has been growing till the end, and all of them has stayed with us. So thank you very much, sir, very much on our part. And I think if Ruktimda or Ashok is there, they can give the vote of thanks formally to sir. Or Debayan, if he can, if his network has improved, he can also join. Hello, is Ashok is there? So I think it is late till 9 o'clock. So I'll give the vote of thanks, very thanks to Debashis. We'll be hoping to come out with this type of programs again in the future. And we think that any of the study circle and including the study circle will be having your time out of your busy schedule. Thank you very much. And thank you all the participants. And we'll be uploading this video recording in the YouTube channel. As you can see, if anybody has missed this opportunity, and they cannot follow this VMC, they can also see it from the uploaded video. Thank you, Debashis. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, and good night to everybody. Good night.
This compulsory 2 hours on.
It will be automatically uploaded, sir.
No. I mean to say, why can't it be for 4 hours? It is so
sir, you can see that sitting tight for 2 hours is getting very difficult. So
but
it is a guideline of the institute.
Stress for 2 hours. Maybe
yes,
another occasion we'll be doing, but this
yes. Many of the study cycle is going on. Like VIP has been doing from 5 to 7, and now we are doing from 7 to 9. So you can join in others also. So thank you, all the participants. Thank you. Thank you. Very good night, and thanks from Howrah Study Circle. Thank you.